Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today you are joined by myself in the coziest attire that I could possibly find because it is freezing outside and I wanted something super comfy to wear while I made this video. So today I am going to be talking to you guys about my bookshelf and everything that's on there that I haven't read yet. So I have counted recently and there are 61 books on my shelves that I have not picked up, not opened, not even looked at the front cover of, even some of them that haven't been looked at in months. I am hoping that by the end of 2025 I will have read all the books on my shelves. Now I know that that is a really big ask. I am a serial book buyer. I buy them as soon as I see them. I pre-order them as soon as I see them. My Amazon wish list is huge. I also get gifted books by my friends and family for birthdays and Christmas, and because they finished reading them and want to add them to my pile, it's getting out of control. So recently I did do a massive book unhaul. It was actually before I started this channel, and I did get my to be read pile on my shelves down from 176. I read a bunch of them and got them down to 61, including donating some that I'm never going to read. What I have then is 61 books on my shelf that I still need to read, and today we're going to talk about what they are. This is probably just a video that you're going to want to put on in the background if you want to do some tasks at the same time, if you want to organise your own bookshelves and just want some company. I hope that this helps. So I'm just going to start listing them, and anytime I want to talk about one of them I will stop. So the pictures will be here. I don't want to pull them all off my shelves because I did just organise them and it took me ages, so I will just be popping them here. So we have Where the Dark Stands Still, which the cover is beautiful. I picked this up in Edinburgh the last time we went. We have Catfish Rolling and Their Vicious Games, also picked up in Edinburgh the last time I went. I have a couple that have been on my to be read for a while. Those are The Starless Sea, Warrior of the Wild, Lore, The Binding, and Shield Maiden. I actually picked all of these up in supermarkets, I believe. We have To Kill a Kingdom, which is steeped in gold, and The Book of Night. Now, Holly Black, this is the only book of hers that I have on my shelves. I didn't like the Cruel Prince series, but this series, I don't actually know if it's a standalone or a series, but either way, it looks interesting. But I have had it since it was released, and that was a while ago. The Hurricane Wars, which I am currently reading at the moment, I'm about halfway through. I have a young kids, almost, I would say young adult, maybe child book, which is called Skander and the Unicorn Thief, which I just thought was so cute, and I just had to pick it up. Trial of the Sun Queen, The Light That Binds Us, and The Temptation of Magic. Now, I follow the author who wrote A Temptation of Magic on TikTok, and I can't wait. I'm so excited to read this book. It seems very highly rated. I saw it in Waterstones. It's got this beautiful gold foil cover. I have the hardback, and I actually think that I'm going to be moving it further up my list and reading it sooner rather than towards the end of the year. 5 Broken Blades, which was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and A Curse of Salt. A Curse of Salt, I believe, is about pirates. I actually picked it up in the Lake District whenever I was there on holiday during this year. It looks really nice and it looks quite fantasy, and I seem to be in my pirate era right now, so hopefully I'll enjoy that one. I have a couple of books then that my friend Olivia gave or gifted to me. Those books are The Sun and the Void. She did give me this beautiful Illuminate edition that's got lovely stenciled edges. Gothic Hannah and When the Moon Hatched. My copy of When the Moon Hatched has these stenciled edges. It's stunning. Let me grab it. I feel like every time I grab a book off my shelves, the whole bookshelf is going to fall down, but this is my copy of When the Moon Hatched. It's got the standard cover, but it's got these beautiful blue edges, which are stunning. My friend Olivia actually picked this up because she used to work near to our local Waterstones, and I told her I was really looking forward to buying that one myself, and she went back to see if there was more with the edges on them, the beautiful copy, but there actually wasn't any left in stock, so she really kindly gifted me her copy. Thank you, Olivia. So on to the next books then. We have The Spell Shop, which is a really cozy fantasy that I cannot wait to read. and A Fragile Enchantment, which was actually gifted to me by my friend Molly. She got it off my Amazon wish list and also sent me about 3 boxes of biscuits because I was complaining about not having any biscuits, and she doesn't do things in halves. So thank you for the thousands of biscuits that you gifted me, Molly, and also thank you for this book. I cannot wait to read it. Next we have a Robin Hood retelling. Well, almost. It's about Robin Hood's granddaughter. Similar to another book that I mentioned previously, Skander and the Unicorn Thief, this one is more of a children's early young adult book. But I saw it and I was quite excited for it. It seems really cozy and whimsical and feels like it'll be an easy, happy read whenever I need one. Beneath These Cursed Stars by Lexi Ryan. This is another one with a really beautiful cover. Let me show you. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time after this video putting my bookshelf back together. But how beautiful is this? This is lovely. Even on the back. Stunning. So Lexi Ryan is an author who wrote these Hollow Vows, and I haven't actually read Vows. I haven't actually read these Hollow Vows yet, but it is on my to be read, but I don't have the physical copies. But this book looked really nice and I've heard so many good things about it, and I actually had to go around about 4 Waterstones in Glasgow that did not have this book. And eventually, when I went home to visit my family in Ireland, I found it in this random Waterstones that had just opened. So I'm really happy that I got it, finally, after looking for about 2 weeks, but I'm excited to read this one. Number 28. So number 28 is Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, I did pick up Funny Story by Emily Henry at the very start of this summer when it was released. I took it to the Lake District, fully intending to read the entire thing. However, I got absolutely swept away by Serpent and the Wings of Night. It took all of my attention and it never got read. So I'm hoping that towards the end of the year, I'll be able to read that one. Next is Collide. Collide is a book that I picked up in Asda. It just seems nice. It seems like a funny little cute romance. I sometimes will just go through phases of reading romance books as palate cleansers, especially, you know, cowboy romance, sports romance, work romance, even fantasy romance, anything romantasy, that it's an easy read. So I'm keeping it for a palate cleanser. Next we have a couple of books that aren't necessarily fantasy, and those are Before Your Memory Fades, Death and Croissants, and A Spoonful of Murder. I also have this book, which is about a department store that I picked up while I was in Ireland. I love sort of fiction books that sometimes don't have fantasy elements. I don't have many of them on my shelves, but I love a good murder mystery, and I also love just something just fictional that's a little bit random. Again, I don't have a lot of them, but it is something that I will pick up from time to time when I need a wee bit of a palate cleanser from a heavy fantasy book, and I have had, especially Before Your Memory Fades, on my bookshelf for at least a year. I'm hoping to finish it before the end of 2024, but we'll soon see. The books 34 to 49 actually include more books than just that set of list, because they are series that I have on my shelf that I haven't quite gotten around to yet. The first series is Belladonna. I have the first 2 in paperback. I am waiting until the 3rd one comes out in paperback format to purchase it, but I haven't actually started the series yet. I also have The Poppy War and The Prison Healer. Again, I have the first 2 books of each, haven't started either series. I've got 2 books in the Witches of Thistle Grove series. This does seem like an easy read. I actually might move it up so that I can read it in October, maybe around Halloween time. Maybe that's a good time to read about witches. I have the Aragon series, which you might not be able to see, but it is right here. Actually, I think it is just in frame. The Aragon series, I read this when I was in school. I was obsessed with it. I also used to scroll through the Wikipedia pages about the lore of these books, and I would know everything about them. I've forgotten all of it now, however, but I do have the books and I really would like to reread them. I also have the Curse Breaker series. It is also, I don't actually know where, to tell you the truth. Either way, I've got the Curse Breaker series. Here are the books beside me. Again, I got gifted this for a birthday or Christmas present a couple of years ago. I haven't read it just yet. Kingdom of the Wicked, I've got the first book. I also have, I believe, the hardback, the new one. There's a book that the author has released recently that I believe is set in the same sort of realm, I guess, as Kingdom of the Wicked. I do have it somewhere on these shelves. Yeah, Throne of the Fallen. This book. I believe this is set in Kingdom of the Wicked's world. You can correct me if I'm totally wrong about that, but I do want to read the Kingdom of the Wicked series before I get to this. I only have the first book in a physical format, but I would like to get the other ones, but I also think I have them on my Kindle. Next we have We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. I did pick these up in a queer bookshop in Glasgow called Category Is. I picked them up early 2022, but the reason I have kept them this long and I really want to read them is because of A Tempest of Tea. The same author wrote A Tempest of Tea. It was a 5-star book for me this year, and I would heavily like to read that. Next we have a couple more series. We have a lot of more series actually, having a look at my phone. We have the Inheritance Names series. I have the first book in that. We've got The Chosen, which is a second series by an author that I have read before and I loved. We've got The Sinister Booksellers of Bath, which is the second book in a series that I have picked up and I am dying to get my hands on. I have the first book in the Carry On series by Rainbow Rowell. I used to love these books and I did actually have copies of them before I moved, but I'm not too sure where they went, whether I donated them before I moved to Scotland, or maybe they just got lost somewhere, but I did have the first two. So I've purchased the first one, which I have on my shelf, and I think I'm going to get the others. I also have Immortal Longings, which I believe is the first book in a series. I have a wee bit of a mixed opinion on Chloe Gong. I finished one of her series, didn't particularly enjoy it. I DNF'd Foul Lady Fortune, but Immortal Longings seems right up my alley, so I'm going to give her another chance and read that series. I've got Iron Widow, which I found out this morning doing my research is a first book in a series rather than a standalone, but I have not read it yet and I picked it up a long time ago. I have The Shadows Between Us, which is also a series, but I have very high hopes for this book because I loved the other series written by this author, but I love this author. This author is an auto-buy author for me, so I am hoping that I will like this one too. And lastly, we have Forging Silver into Stars, which is also part of a series. I only have the first one, but I am hoping to pick up the second if I enjoy it. So thank you for watching. Those are all of the physical books on my bookshelves that I haven't read yet and I'm hoping to get round to. You'll probably see in some future videos how I'm getting on with completing those books and how I'm getting on with bringing my number of to be read books down, which I feel like it's going to fluctuate a little bit like this because I am a serial book buyer and I'll probably get more books for my birthday in 2 weeks. What can you do? So if you have made it to this part of the video, comment any closed book emoji because I'm hoping to close all these books off by the end of the year. So thank you for watching and I will speak to you all in another video. Bye!